Netflix recently released its new live-action adaptation based on the Emmy Award-winning hit animated series, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like in any adaptation, there were things that we enjoyed watching, and there were things that we didn't like so much. There's no argument that one of the best things that we witnessed in this series was Avatar Kyoshi and her participation in the second episode titled Warriors. There's no doubt in our minds that we all wanted to see more of this amazing previous incarnation. This leaves us wondering, are we going to see more of Avatar Kyoshi in the second season of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender? If we do, will it be in a flashback of a time before she was a fully realized avatar? Or will we see more of her in action? All of these questions will be answered by the end of this video. With this said, this video will contain spoilers of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender, so take this as your spoiler warning. But before we begin, if you enjoy everything related to Avatar: The Last Airbender and want to see more content like this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel since we will be discussing everything related to this series. Welcome to the Avatar state. For us to understand how Kyoshi can return in Season 2 of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender, we must first take a look at what she did in this first season of this series, and that way you can make sense of her possible return on this second season. In the second episode of Netflix's adaptation of Avatar: The Last Airbender, we see how Aang wants to travel to Kyoshi Island. In Zuko's journal, it said that Avatar Kyoshi was the fiercest of warriors and a master of the Avatar state. Aang wonders if something in her shrine will help him control his power before he loses control again. When Team Avatar finally arrives to Kyoshi Island and visit Avatar Kyoshi's shrine for the first time, they get ambushed by Suki and the Kyoshi warriors as they were trespassing on sacred grounds. After they get to an agreement with the mayor of the village, Aang and Katara visit Kyoshi's shrine once again in hopes to find answers to Aang's issue with the Avatar state. Unfortunately for them, they didn't find anything regarding Avatar Kyoshi's powers or the Avatar state. While reading about Kyoshi, Katara finds something that eventually does help Aang. Katara tells Aang that he isn't alone. She follows by saying that according to what she was reading, all the previous avatars are incarnations of his past lives. So he is literally not alone, and that all the other avatars are inside of him, and if he wants someone to teach him, all he needs to do is figure out how to connect to them. She ends by saying that the answers weren't inside the shrine, the answers are inside of him. This makes Aang meditate in front of Avatar Kyoshi's shrine and asks her to help him. We then see Aang enter the Avatar state and successfully establish a connection with the fiercest warrior, Avatar Kyoshi. Kyoshi greets the young Avatar by saying, "It's about time," which leads him to apologize since he had no idea that he could establish a direct connection to her. Avatar Kyoshi then says that there's a lot he doesn't know. She proceeds to explain that there are many dimensions to being the Avatar, that he needs to be a guardian, a general, a meditator, and a guide. She continues by saying that Aang must fill several roles, and that many of them require unparalleled strength. In this interaction, Aang asks if that's the reason he needs to master all the bending disciplines, so he can become strong. Kyoshi responds by telling him, yes, and it's also to help him gain control over the ultimate power. She then proceeds to explain that the Avatar state is the combination of all his past lives, focusing their energies through him, and that this state gives him the strength of 1,000 benders. Aang says that he's seen it and it's dangerous. Again, Kyoshi steps in by saying that it can be dangerous if it isn't controlled, but that it can also be the ultimate weapon, and that it can even save his life. As trouble hits Kyoshi village, because of General Zhao and his army who are attacking said village, trouble also awaits Aang and Katara as Zuko is approaching them. But Aang is still talking with Kyoshi, so he has no idea of the incoming threat. We hear Kyoshi tell Aang that if he wants to know what the Avatar is, she can't tell him that, because every Avatar is different and that they are shaped by the different demands or their times. Aang then understands that he must figure it out himself, and Kyoshi tells him that it's part of the journey. Because of his nature, Aang is worried about the people he might hurt along the way. Kyoshi responds by asking how many have already been hurt because he hasn't been present, and that if he runs away from his duties once again, that even more people will be hurt. She continues by saying that being the Avatar means putting his duties above all else, even his life. Kyoshi tells Aang that she was like him once, and then she saw what was at stake. As she says this, Kyoshi shows Aang a vision of an incoming threat that is soon to happen and possibly wipe out all waterbenders, just as the air nomads were. Kyoshi then explains that being the Avatar means to be a warrior, a mighty, merciless warrior. Avatar Kyoshi then keeps saying that none of it is going to be easy, but if he keeps avoiding his duties, not only won't he be able to save the world, but he also won't even be able to save Kyoshi Island. This is when Aang finds out about the current threat and lets Kyoshi take over his body, showing us what a true badass she is by knocking out Zuko and saving Katara and defeating General Zhao's army, bending all the elements together. Now that we're all caught up, how exactly is Avatar Kyoshi returning in the second season of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender? Well, it truly is a bit difficult for Avatar Kyoshi to return just like that. Keep in mind that it was explained that the only way an avatar can contact past avatars is by being close to their shrines or statues. So, if we were to see Kyoshi once again, it can be in Aang's memories, as he is still trying hard to fulfill his duties as the Avatar, and he would remember his encounter with Avatar Kyoshi on the island with her namesake. Another reason why we might see her is by Team Avatar visiting Kyoshi Island once again, which wouldn't be bad, so we can keep seeing more of Sokka and Suki's story, which we will definitely keep seeing more of. But this topic is for another video. Maybe we get to see more of Avatar Kyoshi because they encounter a different shrine or statue of her, and Aang contacts her as she can be the one to replace Avatar Roku as Aang's guide in this version of the series, a theory that we already discussed, and if you wish to see more, we will provide the link in the description of this video. Who knows, we may even see her with other past avatars, as Aang is contacting them. The final way that we can think of is in flashbacks of her past life before becoming a fully realized avatar, just like we saw Avatar Roku in the original animated series. What's your opinion regarding the fiercest warrior, Avatar Kyoshi? Do you think we will see more of Avatar Kyoshi in the second season of Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender? Did we miss anything? Thanks for watching the video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.